the way we like it, and we're happy to do that. So that's I think that's a good balance between those two things.
Got it. And when you look back over your career so far, what are the biggest innovations in legal technology from your perspective that impact how business is done today?
Boy, that's a fantastic question. So obviously AI, I think, is sort of on everyone's mind when you're asking about innovations in legal work. And really, just in the last year, we've seen lawyers using AI getting in trouble with courts because they're hallucinating and creating fake cases. To now, I think the new we got to use Claude Fable for basically a weekend, and I did some really interesting research with it, and really dug into it, and I see its potential. And I think as far as securities law, it's like, how exciting and how much changes are there? Well, I'll tell you, if you look at the crypto part, it's sort of the speed of light compared to regular law that happens. You had Loper Bright, which is a really important case a couple of years ago that came out, and I think that really sort of opened up the space for, I guess you call it legal innovation coming in, where there's less deference for the administrative process, and it sort of allows a more balancing of what it is that the layperson's bringing, and what the regulations are within that the government's imposing. So I think those two things really need to balance. And my opinion is that in the crypto space, we've seen the Genius Act, and we've seen the SEC sort of handle, all their rules by enforcement actions. We've been a part of some enforcement actions, and it's just sort of like an ugly sort of battle type process, like litigation. And if you take a step back, and the SEC has done that and stopped really, and their enforcement so much on with especially in the crypto space, and sort of allowed the legislature to come in and make some rules, and we've seen the Clarity Act markups, and hasn't been passed yet. But I think once that happens, and once we get a sort of an outline, then they'll bring it to, yeah, the CFTC and the SEC, which are likely going to, be the two agencies that are gonna handle the regulation in the Web3 space. They'll build out their administrative rules, and once those rules are out and everyone sort of knows what to follow, that's when I think we'll have a sort of a boom in this space, and then from there, and incrementally it'll change, just like every other aspect of law, where you'll have lawsuits that come in, and some of those will go up to the Supreme Court, and then large decisions will be made from time to time, and that'll be sort of a slower process. But right now, it's moving at the speed of light, as far as the innovation in the legal space, even, which is pretty rare, and it's really nice to see. Us in the U.S. kind of taking sort of a front row seat of that, and say, look, we really want to guide this, and what can we do to do that? And obviously, their roles is regulation, and that's probably the best way they can do that.
Got it. And what inspired you to sort of create Quantum